Hi everyone, I'm Katie, an infant toddler Montessori teacher and registered early childhood educator. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 Montessori-inspired Valentine's Day activities for toddlers and preschoolers. The first activity that I have for you today is Valentine's Day Play-Doh. Now you can buy store-bought Play-Doh in Valentine's Day colors, so red, pink, white, or you can make your own Play-Doh. I'm going to link to our homemade Play-Doh recipe in the description below. It is truly the best Play-Doh recipe I've ever come across. It's really fun to make. Your child can help you to make the Play-Doh. Most homemade Play-Doh recipes call for boiling hot water or doing it on the stovetop, but this one just uses warm water. So it's a really fun activity. So I will definitely link to that below. But if you don't have the time, store-bought is also okay. So once you've got your Play-Doh, you just want to add some different tools. So something like a child-sized rolling pin so that they can roll out the Play-Doh. If you've got a heart-shaped cookie cutter, they can then make little heart-shaped cutouts. And if they're interested in maybe taking it one step further and you're not worried about them putting things in their mouth, you could add some loose parts. So I have a bowl here of just different pom-poms, little beads so that they can decorate them and develop that creativity. Working with Play-Doh is also excellent for strengthening fine motor skills, and it also allows the child to engage in sensorial exploration, which is what they're really interested in toddlerhood and when they're preschoolers. So Valentine's Day Play-Doh, pretty simple, just some Play-Doh with some Valentine's Day themed tools and loose parts to go along with it. So the second activity that I have for you is a Valentine's Day sensory bin. Now, sensory bins can get a little bit messy, so if you're not into messy play, then maybe you just want to skip over this one. But I always loved bringing sensory bins into my classroom because the children really enjoyed it. Sensory bins are not widely used in Montessori classrooms, but because of my ECE background, I really learned the value of having sensory bins for young children. So that's why I had them, but they're not for everybody. But if you're interested, what you need is a bin and something for them to explore. So I typically used dyed rice. I would buy some rice and then I would dye it the color of whatever the theme was. So for Valentine's Day, I would have dyed it red, pink, and maybe left some of it its natural color. We have a recipe for dyeing rice, for rainbow rice, and I will link to that below as well. It's really easy. It's just rice, vinegar, and food coloring, and some Ziploc bags. So check that out if you're interested. But basically you just want to fill the bin with something that the children are going to be able to explore. And then you want to add some tools that are going to enrich their exploration. So we here at the Montessori Room have a sensory bin toolkit that has some really great wooden scoops. It's got, different containers and cups in it. Just for the children to sort of, fill and dump and pour and really work on those fine motor skills. So a sensory bin can be a lot of fun. And they're great because you can really make one for any sort of holiday. They're really easy to just kind of cater to whatever theme it is that you're going for or whatever your child is interested in. If you're not into the mess, a pro tip with the sensory bins is to actually sit your child in, one of those under the bed storage containers that are quite large, is to actually sit your child in one of those and then put the sensory bin in front of them so that when the rice or whatever loose part you have inevitably spills over the sides, it's at least contained in a larger container. What I also love to do with sensory bins is hide things inside of them. That's a really great way of piquing a child's interest with sensory bins. So for this Valentine's Day themed one, you could hide little hearts in the rice, anything really that you have. You could even just cut up paper hearts and hide them inside. Count them. There's so many different ways to extend sensory bins. But like I said, sensory bins are really great for developing fine motor skills, and they also provide the child with an opportunity to engage in some sensorial exploration. Sensory bins have also been found to have calming properties for some children. They can really help them with self-regulation, so give it a try if you're interested. Just maybe have a broom and a dustpan nearby. So the third activity that I have for you is heart stamping. So you could do this activity with the cookie cutter that we've used in the other activities, and just simply put, a shallow dish with paint for them to stamp, and then they can make the print of the heart on the paper. But if you don't want to do that, the other thing that you can do, which is really great because it uses recycled materials, is you can make a heart with a paper tube. So all I've done is make a little crease in the center of it, put a rubber band around it, and then you've got this really adorable heart. So again, you just want to use a shallow dish with some paint in it, not too much paint, and then demonstrate to the child how to put the tube into the paint and then stamp it onto their paper. You can use whatever color paper you like. You could cut the paper into a heart shape if you like, but it's really fun. And what I love about it is no cleanup. When they're finished with it, you can just throw it in the garbage. And when they want to do the activity again, you can just use a recycled paper tube again. So this is a great activity for developing creative expression and also continuing to develop those fine motor skills. So the fourth activity that I have for you is really great for children who are showing an interest in gluing activities. So all you need is some colored paper, some scissors, and either some white glue, or you could even use a glue stick if that's what you have at home. So what you will do is cut out a larger heart like this. It can be any color that you like, or any color that your child likes. And then cut out smaller hearts, just like this. And then you want to demonstrate how to put the glue onto the back of the heart and then glue it to the larger heart. And then you can really just sit back and follow your child's lead. There's no right or wrong way to do this activity. So in the classroom, I had this activity out, and some children, only maybe had the attention span to put on 2 or 3 hearts, which was totally fine. But then there were others that were actually asking for more hearts because they just wanted to keep gluing and gluing and gluing. So follow the child's lead with this activity. So if you're not into this as a gluing activity, the other thing that you can do is use contact paper. So you can get contact paper, stick it to the wall with the sticky side out, and then again, cut up the little small hearts and have them stick it to the contact paper. I would do this in the classroom all the time. I put it on the door, and the children would just stand and stick the hearts to the contact paper. And some of the children really loved it, and there was also no mess, which was definitely a bonus. So a heart collage is really great for developing creative expression, developing fine motor skills, and developing hand-eye coordination as well. So the final activity that I have for you today is more of a game, and it's a game called Find the Hearts. So if you celebrate Easter, just like you might have an Easter egg hunt, we're going to do the same thing, but this time with hearts. So you can just cut up some hearts. You can make them big, you can make them small, however many as you think your child will be interested in finding, and then hide them all over the room, hide them all over the house. You could even add a little basket for them to put the hearts in once they find them. And you can extend the activity by, once they do find all the hearts, you can count them. You can talk about the different colors of the hearts. You can talk about the different sizes of the hearts. Really, you want to follow the child's lead. This activity is really meant to be fun and kind of get you moving. Another fun way to do this activity, if your child is interested, is encourage them to hide the hearts for you. So, you can pretend to close your eyes or turn your back and have them hide the hearts, and then you can go and find them. So that's always a really fun way of enriching and extending a child's learning, is asking them to then do that activity for you. They really enjoy, at least in my experience, they really enjoy when they kind of get to be, you know, the adult or the parent or the teacher, and you pretend to be the child. And again, a lot of different ways to extend the activity. If your child is showing an interest in letters or numbers, you can number the hearts, you can write letters on them, you know, for them to find and for you to talk about afterwards. It's a really great activity because you can adapt it to meet your child's needs and interests. So this is a really great activity, like I said in the beginning, for developing gross motor skills. If you talk about it afterwards, you're developing language skills. If you're participating in the activity with your child, you're developing social skills. So it really just covers all the different domains of development, and it's a lot of fun. All right, so there are my 5 recommendations for Montessori-inspired Valentine's Day activities for toddlers and preschoolers. I hope you enjoyed and found something of interest. I'll link to the recipes and products that I mentioned in the video below. And if you're interested in bringing Montessori into your home, please check out our at-home program. We will also include the link to join in the description below. All right, I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.